to another episode of the Fabric of Ireland podcast. As always, it's exciting to be recording, and I love my time in the studio. Just thankful for all the help as well that I received from the Dublin South podcast studio here. And yeah, today's a bit different. I'm not as formal as I usually am. I have a special guest, as always, but maybe more special. I have my husband with me today, affectionately known as KG. So we're going to have a chat and just talk about a few things, random, relevant. See how we get on. A quick disclaimer is, obviously I'm very familiar with him, so I'm trying to keep it a bit casual. And I'm I'm worried, or maybe not worried, but I'm thinking, oh goodness, the way I talk at home is probably going to come out because is it called code switching? Yeah. I mean, I can't exclaim in English, like I can't shout in English, like. So when you're with familiar people, you're not my homeboy, but yeah, that Africanness tends to come out, and just be mindful. It was actually funny a few weeks ago. We'll digress into that. Let me introduce my guest. And hi KG, husby. Welcome to the Fabric of Ireland podcast.
Thank you. I'm honored to be a special guest on the Fabric of Ireland podcast. Technically your 7th episode.
Yep.
And I guess equally at a guest when you've actually hit a couple of lovely milestones in terms of your feeds on YouTube. So I feel extra special being a guest here, and I look forward to the discussion. Now, I don't necessarily I don't think I'll be as exciting as your previous guests, because they are very specialized and they do public speaking as a job. But I look forward to our discussion.
Okay, cool. We can get right into it. Before we digress, I guess the code switching was, I mentioned that because I remember I was talking to my sister on a call, and then one of her friends who watches the podcast was like, "Is that your sister who does the podcast?" Because I was in my, hey, like, you know how expressive I can be.
But is it also code switching? So on the last episode, so with Lee Daly, the first time because he presented a gift for you, right? And effectively that was for me because it was a small coffee cup with that effectively advertises his business. And when I read it, I was like, Lee Daly.
I guess it happens. It's just more, I can't help. I suppose, I talk different at home and at work. That is the bottom line. I'm not going to lie.
We all put on our professional voices when we're in the office. And I feel like I'm partly putting on my professional voice now because I'm like, deer in the headlights. But I think I'll get more comfortable as we get into the discussion.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you see, today I don't even have my cue cards, so I brought my phone. But I suppose we can start with two worlds colliding. Zimbabwe colliding with South Africa, or South Africa, whichever way you want to put it. How has that been for you? Do you feel like we are melanged into our traditions? Are we trying to merge different traditions? I'm Zimbabwean, you're South African. And what's your take on life married to a Zimbabwean woman?
A South African married to a Zimbabwean woman. I think there's it's a Zulu adage, I think, or it's not even a proverb. I think it's an adage. And translated, it goes like, you'd have to go far to get a beautiful woman for marriage.
Okay.
So I think to your audience, maybe it's not worth saying it in Zulu, but maybe I will. Which is, I think, what is it? It's Indogwentle Eganwa Izizwen, which it translates to what I said, that you have to travel far. And we were talking about it the other day, and I think that in Ireland together, we are seen as one. So there isn't that difference that you're Zimbabwean and South African. But back home, I think, and home separately, for me, South African, for you, Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
You know, either one of us, I visited to the other's homeland.
Yeah.
Right?
Scrambling to be like, please, we're one family.
Exactly.
In the queue, in the airport queues.
I think, when was that? That was South African immigration when we were going through the airport. I think what happened was I was so nervous that Christiana and I would go through the South African line, and then you'd be forced to the non-South African line. So I went ahead, and then I actually said, "That's like, no, we are one family."
Rest my brother. It's fine.
Immigration officer is just like, calm down, take it easy.
So okay, I mean, maybe when we're this, like in Ireland here, it just offers us that opportunity to kind of break that barrier or that division, because we kind of just in this little huddle of, we don't tend to focus on that. But when we go back home, it's like, you feel it, and then you have to go to another queue to do this and that. And but I mean, it's all part of everything, and nothing, no love lost, except when they made me stand outside at Home Affairs. I'm the child of the mother, but then they made me like stand outside, and the father has to come and get the child's document or whatever.
I think this was when we had to go back and renew our daughter's passport, right? And in fairness, I think it was my fault for having chosen that particular Home Affairs office. But I think that...
But wait, sorry, before you go. Yeah. My issue with that was the humiliation. Like, I can understand. Okay, so what happened is this lady came and called me up as I was sitting with my daughter, and then she says, we need to check your passport in case you have a fake stamp. I don't know if they couldn't understand, like, this person was in Ireland, then they came here and there. And so, I mean, I'm fine for them to check stuff. Like, I know that, okay, check it. It's above board. But why did she have to call me in front of everybody and ask me if my stamp is fake?
Yeah,
it's the humiliation.
It's zero tact. And I think it was beyond them. Like, I don't think they could... Maybe it was intentional to humiliate you, right? But I think it's people that either revel in that type of humiliation, right, and completely forget their job, or it's just people that are very oblivious and I think in kind of looking out to do their job, they really just forget
human dignity,
exactly, humanity in what they're required to do. So I don't know, like, that was tough. Like, I think maybe it touches on some of the points that I think we had to cover just around Ireland, right? Around us being in Ireland. Maybe I don't want to jump the gun.
Yeah. Right? Let's see. So, okay. I think we've basically kind of covered that. Yeah, we obviously two worlds, just trying to map out our life here in Ireland. We tend to go home and face some weird situations. But overall, are you happy here, or do you feel like you were dragged to Ireland? I don't know. by the neck. No, not by the neck. But
it would have to be quite a different sort of being dragged here to go through immigration, to get through, do you know what I mean? No, I am happy here. I think that Ireland's been really good to us. I think I don't even have to say despite the weather, because I think the weather's okay. I do feel that Joburg can be a lot colder. in winter at times. But that aside, I think the people are fantastic. I think the opportunities are great. I think that when we look at the schools and the culture, I think they're great. They're great to raise a family. It's got its ups and downs. It's got its sort of moments where you kind of go, okay, what's the story here? Right. But I'm happy here. I think that we are on a journey together where we're growing and we're figuring things out. I still think of myself as a young adult anyway, so we're figuring things out together, and it's both exciting, challenging, scary, but it's fulfilling.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so then I guess when we talk about Zimbabwe, South Africa, we can't run away from the elephant in the room in terms of, some of the news that comes out of South Africa and even Zimbabwe, just the tension, I guess, that is arising in general. And, I guess, should I say the word xenophobia and just the sentiment around that? Because let's say, there are instances where, let's say, a genuine couple like me and you are genuinely in love. We just trying to build a family. But then there's also instances where there's fake marriage. And I mean, like, you remember we went through the process and like they asked us all these questions, which we answered. Some were even so just crazy.
How long have you been together?
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah.
How much did you pay for this and that? What color? Yeah. They asked us what color our couch was. And then I said it was brown and you said it was gray or something. But yeah, anyway.
Still maintain it was gray.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that whole sentiment, and I guess it's rising in the world, is it something that you say is bleeding into other countries as well? Do you think, like what do you think about it? And how do you feel when all those news come up and it's like operation this, operation that? And I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's just like, I just don't know. So let me get your thoughts.
I think it's something that's very topical, right? It's something that's in our faces every day on television, in our, social feeds. When you say do I think it's bleeding into other countries? It makes it seem like it originated.
Oh, sorry.
Right?
Yeah.
No. I think I get what you. I definitely get what you meant. I think what it is it's a zeitgeist. It's the times that we live in.
It's a zeitgeist.
It's the times that we live in.
Okay.
Right? And that what that is, it's more. There is it's the right wing, or your far right elements everywhere, right? Because, and equally, I think that the concept of right wing isn't necessarily in developed nations, i.e., the right wing element in Ireland that is anti-immigration, or the right wing element in the US that's anti-immigration. It's actually also the right wing elements in our own home countries, right? In South Africa, you might find people that are leftists but have right-leaning ideals, right? And what is that? It's a anti-immigration stance that is, I think, fueled by a lack of information, and highly likely, I think, it's also fueled by a sentiment towards the other. It's othering other people without necessarily seeing that principle that you're applying actually goes kind of cuts across. So what do I mean by that? Okay, simple example. We look at Operation Dudula in South Africa, which I think you're alluding to, and that's specifically an operation or a faction that looks at is anti-Black immigrants, so immigrants from Zimbabwe, Zambia, etc., in South Africa, people that they term or deem as illegal immigrants, right? And even those that are
so wait, sorry, immigrants, it would be against illegal, not just immigration in general.
I think that it's against immigration in general too, right? Because their stance is it's not really consistent, and it's also not formulated in proper logic, I don't think, because they go against the less fortunate Black people from Zimbabwe, Zambia, etc., right? And then they say you're finishing our resources, etc., etc. But
is that not the case? They're finishing.
Well, I think, and they don't discriminate against even equally legal immigrants, because some of the attacks have been against those that are legally in the country, right? But where I'm saying there's kind of a bit of inconsistency and a flawed approach to what they're doing is they don't then turn around and look at some of their own bosses who are immigrants, yes, legal immigrants. We completely bypass that, either because of skin color or because of a sort of like a class issue, right? So it's that inconsistency. And two, I think it's a very myopic view in the sense that we forget where we come from as South Africans. We forget that it's not so long ago that, we had apartheid. But during the struggle eras, who was there to help us? Who was there to house some of our political freedom fighters that were exiled? Right? It was Zimbabwe, Zambia.
So South Africa must pay forever.
No, it's not paying forever. It's just being, in fact, maybe I'll be bold and say, yes, it's paying forever, because we are all Abantu. We have Ubuntu, and we should always forever be conscious of our neighbors, right? And it's not so much that we're paying a debt because we look back; it's also paying it forward. That's what I think. And we have really good. I guess the South African government has policies, right, around illegal immigration. And what's the right way? Once you're in illegally, what you need to do legally, right? To be registered and go through the process. And there's really good pro bono lawyers that support illegal immigrants in South Africa, right?
Yeah.
So there's loads of processes and procedures that are in place. Now, again, I don't want to jump the gun, because of course this comes back to Ireland, right? And I'd say it's the same for Ireland as well.
So wait, as we move on to Ireland, you were saying, okay, and get what you said about South Africa, and then now you're bringing it back to the case of Ireland, the South African experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's not necessarily Ireland, the South African experience. I'm not sure I got you right there. I think it's more, what do I think and understand in my very limited capacity, and glossing at headlines, not even reading the articles, right? Around Irish immigration and some of the issues that proliferate, right? Which actually affect us because we are immigrants, right?
We're just also overcrowding the country and the resources.
Us and all other immigrants. I think Ireland, again, as I stated, it's a welcoming country, right? The government has its own agenda. It's got its appetite around the numbers of immigrants that it's targeting, and with a purpose, right? I mean, I'll speak for my case, right? We came here and we applied for a skilled visa, right? And I think both of us anyway had skilled visas. So we came in under a policy that is a legal policy. That's legal immigration. So there's a sense of kind of like wanting to go on and touch on some of the headlines that we've seen around illegal immigration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me bring you back.
I think this is often how our conversations go, right? Whereas we start talking about something I reach across too far.
Well, okay, just to bring you back, right? I think I think still maybe let's focus on South Africa a little bit more because I think, there's just a lot to be said there. And there is some little linkages you can make with some of the things that are happening in Ireland a little bit. But I guess when it comes to South Africa, right, there was obviously there's so many headlines going on. But what's brought to mind is a personal situation that we are having where we're trying to get your birth certificate out of South Africa and we're struggling. But would it make sense that me as a Zimbabwean, I can get a South African document quicker than you can get a South African document? What do you think about that? I mean, does it make sense?
Make it all make sense.
Make it make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I think I tend to be very apologetic about South African processes. I think that...
Do you think they have failed the people, though? Because, I mean, people are very angry. Like, it's just gotten to a state of abahambe, like, go away. Like, so it's like, maybe someone is genuinely, in the country, they're trying to make it work and... trying to navigate the system, but the system also, fails people to a certain degree. So I'm not sure how.
I think what can be said about South African public services, right? One, I think they've improved tremendously from what they used to be 10, 20 years ago, right? I think there was a point, maybe I'd say 5 years ago or so, where they were really, really good. I mean, our home affairs and being online and being able to track your applications, etc. They went they had this roadmap to really improve and digitize processes, right? But now it feels like it's just kind of regressing, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe to some degree, but I think it's good until you run into a problem. Every system might be good until you have a problem. It can't handle an issue.
Fair. But I think in terms of your daily bread, like issuing out a passport, issuing out identity documents, issuing out birth certificates, I think...
Issuing or selling?
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, no. Yes, right. Yeah, I think that I'll touch on the selling part just now. I think in terms of issuing legitimate documents, but kind of your standard documents, I think they're very good at that. Right. Now, in terms of issuing in my case, issuing out or reissuing a unabridged birth certificate for an adult, right? It's a complicated issue for them, because I have to speak to my case. It's complicated because I was born when necessarily records weren't being captured on computers, right? So that's got its nuance, it's got its own issues, and we're battling with that. But I'd say, that South Africa this might surprise a lot of people. South African Home Affairs is horrible compared to Zimbabwe. Because, I mean, to try and get an appointment with the Home Affairs office, or at least the embassy here in Ireland, you're out by 6 months just to get an appointment, right? So you have to plan a year in advance to do anything. And whereas, we didn't have those types of issues. We just had some logistical maneuvering to do to get some of your documents renewed in relation to Zimbabwe.
When my ID was eaten by rats as well. It's just...
Yeah, these are third world issues. Now, I guess, again, let's juxtapose it to Ireland. I think that first impressions, right? I think having to deal with revenue here, I was like, what? Revenue so efficient. Thank the Pope. Then what else? Even immigration, right? Getting our GNIBs or IRP cards, efficient, I think even transparent in terms of how long they're taking to process them, right? So much so that if I compared it with some of our network providers, I was shocked at how private sector tends to lag, and you'd have a lot more issues dealing with private sector than the public sector. That's been my
That's
experience.
your view,
That's my experience, yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, we are coming into the country and we're basing it on our prior sort of experience. So it seems better to us, but whereas maybe people from here are very dissatisfied with actually public services and different things. So I guess it just depends on which lens it's from.
Yeah.
I can say the pot is black and you see the pot is red. So it's just, dependent on who's looking at it and how they perceive it. So, okay, enough of the serious talk.
Okay.
I want to move on to, I guess, talking just about the episodes, reflecting on the road to kind of creating this podcast, because you would probably just be, behind the scenes and you get to see all the weird and wonderful things that happen. So, I just am interested to know, what you think, or how maybe different it is for you when you see me doing this, or do you think I'm weird? Maybe I have notions. I don't know. What do you think?
I think you've got good notions, right? And it's almost a very low tolerance of imperfections, right?
Okay.
Or at least maybe that's a very weird way of putting it, of saying almost a perfectionist, right? Because you want things your way.
Okay.
No. Because this is your child. This is your creation, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I was very fortunate to see it kind of, like you said,
go from pillow talk to life.
Kind of from a conceptual, an idea, and to its coming to fruition, right? I think that some of the things that kind of that stick out are like really key moments when, even before you started your first recording. It was just laying the groundwork, laying the foundation. It's kind of like, one, how you came to thinking of a name, right? Some of your considerations around copyrights and trademarks. You went on a rabbit hole, researching about copyrights, trademarks. Do I need to register a company? Do I need to do X, Y, and Z? And the amount of thought you put behind it. And it was interesting watching all of that. Then, once you'd resolved what you needed to do, once you'd got in touch with the various people that you needed to get in touch with, it was kind of like a huge moment when you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what I've landed on. Now, let's put it into action. Right? And even small things like cue cards, right? I think we're in the digital age, and I think you have a good iPad. I would have thought you'd go and use an iPad and be, kind of fancy schmancy with your iPad. But I think you went back to old school, kind of like really lovely glossy cue cards. And when we went to the printing shop to kind of get a sense of what types of cuts that they can get, the type of paper and everything, I think that was very meticulous. It was beautiful to watch. It was, I wasn't on board. It's not how I would have approached it. But when you see it come to life, I think it's quite unique. It's iconic. That's what
I don't think it's unique or iconic, but it's fine. I think everybody does that.
I think it betrays that you're a millennial. We used to have this lady on South African TV, Felicia Mabuse. and it kind of gave me kind of like those vibes. No, it's a very nuanced perspective but anyway, it's great, and I think it works.
Okay. And then, was I frazzled, perplexed, or did you see a side of like, okay, I don't know this Caroline. Who is this person?
No, I don't think you were frazzled or perplexed. I think you were very resolute. You knew what you wanted and how you wanted it, right? You were determined. That's what I saw. And that's what I still see today. And I think you had notions. You had an idea of absolutely what it is that you wanted to achieve, how to kind of to do it, right?
Yeah.
And you pursued that. That like I like that. I appreciate that. It's quite an eye opener because I kept looking at it and I was like, should I be approaching my work like this?
Okay. Well, it's not to say it's perfection, but maybe the spirit of excellence. Like whatever you do it well and do it to the best of your ability. And that's all you can do really. Even, with our daughter, I always tell her, just do your best. Your best is good enough. If you can walk away and say that was my best, that's okay. Okay, so yeah, you saw the prelude and then finally episode 1 came. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on all the episodes and the guests I've had and just some of the reflections you've had or something that stood out for you in 1 or 2 liners.
Okay, be brief. It's the brief. Right, I guess the first episode, right?
Yeah.
I was curious to see how it would turn out, how it would come out, right? I mean, when you first thought about filming and recording, you had spoken with Anne about it, right? So Anne was integral to this kind of like bringing all of this together. So I thought it was absolutely great that she was the first guest.
Yep.
Okay. And I think it was I guess in terms of your friendship, I think it was great to kind of see that come through.
Yeah.
You guys talking around how you'd met and how you had shared ideals, right? And then kind of what really stuck to me is Anne's background, right? The various jobs that she'd done, and that the fact that really in our journey to being professionals, we all come from somewhere. We all come from maybe not so much humble beginnings, right? But more, we all come from beginnings that we can all relate to.
Yeah.
Right? And she had really great perspectives around, the people that she met and engaged with. I was really hoping there might be a follow-on episode where, she gets into the detail, into the gossip, right? But you're like, no, it's not that type of podcast.
No. Yeah, and it was really a special moment, like with her just launching it, and yeah, she was just such an integral part, like you say. Like I appreciate everything she did, like but taking time out of. She's really busy, and so. Yeah, I always appreciate it. Even now, she's always supporting me and cheering me on. And sometimes I'm like, does Anne even like what I'm posting? Or she's just like, feel sorry for my friend. Let me just support my friend till the end. But even some of the followers, let's say, that I got were because from kind of driven by traffic from her page and her Instagram. And so now I haven't told her yet, but it's like, it feels awkward sometimes because like, I was also just clueless with the social media thing. Then I followed some of them back and then they're her friends. But now I don't know, like, do I look creepy when I'm liking their pictures? Like, it's just a weird social media thing, but all in good intent. Like, there's no ill intent at all. It's just, the weird things that happen on Instagram. Yeah.
Well, look, people are looking for engagement, and because engagement just drives either views or it just basically drives your visibility. At least that's my take. And I think that people just appreciate it even if, you're just a Joe Blogs to them or a Jane Doe to them. They appreciate that you like you like what they're putting out there. They put it out there for that reason, really. That's what I think.
Okay. And now episode 2, Summary KG.
I think for some of these you'll have to remind me. But
I'm going to remind you every time.
Episode 2, this was...
Remember when it's like, faster.
Yes,
Sorry. Yes. I'm just trying to be
Get
real.
to the point.
No. Yeah. I like what you're saying. But you see, podcasts, we run out of time.
Episode 2, I think this was kind of your take on your journey, or really at least our journey to Ireland. And I guess post episode 1, if I remember correctly, you're giving your take on why Fabric of Ireland, and your journey.
Yeah.
What's brought you here, the loss of your mum, and a couple more other issues in a nutshell. I think it was a nice touch to kind of, because a lot of people, especially with a title like, or at least the name of the podcast being Fabric of Ireland, the question might be, well, who are you to talk about the fabric of Ireland? What rights do you have? What notions, right? And I think it was a nice touch to at least answer some of those questions, to kind of put your cards on the table and say, this is who I am, this is how I got here, this is my story. And I'd love for you to either listen to me or engage with me. In a nutshell, that's how I remember.
In a nutshell, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And just reflecting on some of the things I said there, like, do you recall me going through a dark time, or did you just think she just doesn't want to do stuff this one, she wants to sleep? Or do you just remember that time and how it was, like, when, I lost my mother, the mother?
Oh, well, let me see. You mean in terms back at that point when...
Or just did you notice a change in me? As in what I was saying there, I mean, I was not fabricating it. Like when I was saying I didn't want to go out.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I follow. I think it's expected, right? I think nobody dictates how long a mourning period is, and nobody dictates. There aren't any rules as to how you should mourn, right? Especially mourning the loss of your mother. I think, to me, I feel like you had such a special relationship with your mother, right? More than your dad, that is. So that hit you hard, and it made it even worse that we were right in the middle of, kind of like when COVID was pretty much the only thing that we spoke about, the only thing that dictated anything that we did. I think it happened in the worst of times. We couldn't travel, right? So I think I tried to give you the time and space, and I can, like I said, I nobody dictates how long you should mourn and how you should not mourn, and that's the code switch, right? How and how you should do it, because it's the pain in your heart, and you have to do. So in short, I tried to be more accommodating than judgmental, right? Because
so you did see a change.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's expected. It's expected.
Okay, no problem.
I think I'll watch when this video comes back. I'll watch it with a bit of cringe. It's like,
it's not easy. No, you see, this job is hard.
It's very hard.
And then I just laugh all the time. I'm just like, So yeah, okay. Then episode 3 was with Connor. Just also to add, Connor has been so helpful to me. Like, I don't know, actually helping almost a stranger. I mean, I do know him from, obviously, I met him online and then I met him in person. But he was so supportive. He really promoted the episode. And yeah, I'm so thankful for everything that he did as well. So just wanted to mention that. So yeah, what was your highlight?
I think he's a very introspective person, right? I think he's got a lot to share around how one can better oneself, right? In the sense that when he rattled off some of the reads that he's done, so books to read, you kind of get a sense that he really thinks a lot about who he is, what influences his life, and he thinks you should do too, right? As in you really need to take yourself that seriously. But I also think that he's also conscious of that the world is not necessarily entirely like him, right? And also he makes a lot of effort to engage with it. I think maybe, I'm not sure if I'm just really giving a bad summary of
No. I think it's good. So
right.
We'll park it there.
Okay.
And then episode 4 was the one where I was chatting about
parenting and
children and digital age. And I will say, you see, I was talking about all these people saying, oh, don't post your kids. We must stay with our phones loaded 1 gig of pictures because of all this online stuff. And now there's this hoo-ha about those Epstein files, should I say?
Yeah.
So what I was just really trying to say was hold people accountable rather than making parents feel guilty. Like there are people out there who need to be held accountable for things that they've done to children, spanning across the world, spanning whoever's done something, instead of we must feel bad for posting. And even some of the things that, like I said, kids say or kids do, they're so uplifting. They have so much wisdom that sometimes we as adults forget. So, yeah, that was my take and my rant. But yeah, go ahead.
I think you're right. I think either our politicians or those that pretty much run social media, right, are leaning towards kind of using the easiest ways to put controls, right? So,
but those things happened without social media. So how did they happen? I don't know. I'm naive. Like I'm living PG-13 life. I don't know how, whatever these tunnels or whatever work. But
yeah. Well, I think, okay, maybe firstly, I think it's a very complicated topic.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
I think there's a lot that goes on that we're not aware of, right? But if we go back to what your video was about, right, which was based on that ad and how the ad, what we can control better, right, and what we can police are how parents post online, right? It's easier to police that and provide guidance and and advice, right? It's not to say that we are being very strict and stringent around parents and the ability to post, right? Because it's much harder to hold to account those that perpetrate the things that perpetrate kind of the things that they do to kids, or how they use images and video of kids online, right?
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. So we're on the clock. We're on the clock.
Yeah, we're on the clock.
Go on.
Then, okay, let's leave it at that because that one is a complicated one anyway.
Okay.
So 5 with Seraphima and C with 6 Lee.
Okay.
Just your key takeaways from those two lines.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. I love to listen to you, but it's because
no, we're running short of time. That's fine.
Whatever that is, is cut or something. I don't know what they say.
I think Seraphima, my key takeaway from Sarah Fima's video, the one thing I liked is when she said, just different petrol, right? Which means sometimes you need to switch up your motivation, your driver.
Yeah.
Right? Which means you need to come back and review or investigate what actually has been motivating you before, and is it still fit for purpose?
Okay.
And if not, come back, try and find something else, right? Wake up on a different side of the bed, right? That's one.
Sharp.
And Lee, which was most recent. Now, I think I liked the Lee episode because it was more a focus on men. And that's not to say that there hasn't been a focus on men or men need a focus. It was more to kind of go, right, feminism isn't anti-men, right?
I don't know about that, but okay.
That's how I understood it. Okay. Well, no, not even rather. That's how I interpret things, right?
Okay.
Right? Feminism is not anti-men, right? I think feminism is pro-men who are pro-woman, right? It's a dynamic. It's a good mix, right? It's kind of say, we need each other to uplift each other.
Yeah.
Right? But we need to, men need to focus on being great men in the right way, right? A key takeaway, which I'd heard it before, and it was lovely to hear it in the podcast again. And then just thinking about it again, it's so true, it's so relevant, and it's energizing, right? And that was the discussion around, you can say that I'm willing to, I would die for my family, but would you go to therapy for them, right? And it's such a loaded phrase, in that when things go wrong in the house or at home, things go wrong because of either how we're not engaging together or we're not communicating well what's bothering us, right, as men or the family. So we need to be able to communicate. We need to understand each other. And that's that joint therapy, or separately, just go get therapy. Go get, help to understand your aggression issues, your anger issues, or your addiction issues, right? Such that you can be better present for your family.
Okay, good. You're getting into the podcasting. Okay, so last but not least, I want us to chat about, on the faith side of things, let's say, let's do a light touch approach on disappointment and hurt associated with the church. And even in Ireland, I think it is relevant to some degree. And even myself, let's say my life in ministry and how it's impacted your life or changes within our home. I'm giving you the mic, yeah? Go ahead.
I guess, firstly, on the disappointment and hurt with the church, right? I guess this maybe it stems from, how you transitioned or into a more formal role in ministry, whereas before we used to go to church, right? Kind of on and off, like most families that are church going tend to do. But this time around has changed, where you actually played an active participating role in the church and you're a member of the ministry, right? And I think any type of relationship within an organization, right? Things can go bad or sour, etc. And that was that. And that, I think, impacted you quite strongly, right? Because you didn't maybe expect either that level of disorganization in the house of the Lord. So how did it affect us? I think it definitely affected us. And I say we, I mean myself and CK, right? And my stance was always to kind of go, how do we comfort you and show you that was the start of your journey, it was only a place to take you from, point A to B, but not the end of your journey in ministry, not the end of your journey within your discovery of your relationship with God.
Yeah.
Right? And I think there were really key lessons coming out of that, right? So, yeah, that's my take on that. It was a point to kind of grow, to learn your lessons, and move on from that, and know what to do better, how to organize yourself better as you start your own thing.
Yeah, that's good for light touch. Okay. I do get you. I think it did impact us a lot, and it's one of those unexpected blows, and you're just like, oh my, where do I start? Where do I pick up the pieces? I thought I was on the right track, and even some of the guilt I had because I just thought I'd put everyone through this because of my selfish ambition of some kind, which wasn't really. It was just pure love for God and wanting to do. That was like my happy place. I was like on a roll.
Actually, when you put it like that, I look back and there were times where I felt you went from 0 to 100 in no time, and that was worrying in itself. But I kind of had a sense that things would normalize and kind of either pull you back a bit. And at least kind of temper how you engage with ministry, right? But look, I think we are in a maybe a better space now, but I do foresee that change because we aren't a stagnant people.
Yeah.
As we grow, and as the more you kind of delve into and a better understanding of who you are and what you want to. Or rather, how you want to best get closer to God.
Okay.
Phew, it's so tough trying to shorten answers.
You've got stories going around the houses. You're in the right place, in the right country. Anyway, thank you so much for coming today and for agreeing to be part of this podcast. I mean, you're already part of it. You just do the work behind the scenes, but it's good to have you on here today.
Manual labor.
Yeah. So, I think we've chatted a lot. So I'll just end it here, unless you have some final words for our viewers.
As CK would say, like and subscribe.
It's not a scam. She says that as well. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for being here today. That brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope you'll enjoy it and, enjoy a good banter between a husband and wife and, learn a thing or two about, some of the dynamics that we face and how we are adjusting to life in Ireland. So, I'd just like to say thank you to all our viewers and all the support I've been receiving. I'm always humbled and grateful for everyone who supports me in their own way. Watch all our episodes on YouTube and Spotify, and thank you for watching.